I'm your solo mouse, welcome 23. You're joining me for Elementalists, Book 2, Chapter 12, Ultimatum. As soon as your friends and you arrive on campus from the Mystery Gala, Zeph hurries you to the statue in the center of the quad. Zeph, slow down. How exactly are we getting to the Blood Act classroom? The secret passage is under the statue. We just need to give it the password, which happens to be the year Penderghast was founded. 1693. With a sound like rock scraping rock, the statue moves aside, revealing a staircase spiraling into the dark. Sweet. I'm always down for a little midnight spelunking. Come on, before we attract attention. After making sure no one's watching, you all file down the staircase. The statue moves back in place overhead, leaving you in darkness. It's awfully dreary down here. I think we could use a little light, don't you? It tells me I'm gonna need my little echo thingy. Flames flicker in the oil lights along the walls. Zeph waves you all down the hall after him. If we get attacked by zombies down here, Zeph, I will make you pay for inviting me to the worst after-party ever. You sure you aren't leading us to a secret Earth ad hideout? My Earth magic's loving it down here. The ground shakes slightly and dust falls from the ceiling. If we ended up buried alive, I swear on my forthcoming attuned magic Otis award that I'll... And here we are. I tried an unlocking spell, but obviously it didn't work. You stop in front of an ancient wrought iron door covered in chains. There's no handle. There's a blood symbol in the middle. It probably only opens for blood acts, but I wonder how. It trails off, and the two of you look at each other at the same time. I call older twin privileges. I'm gonna try it first. I'll blast it open with blood magic. Are you sure that's a good... Open sesame! Ah! Your blood magic dissipates, and refractionary energy shoots out of you. Atlas clears his throat. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but Alma said not to use our blood magic yet. Yeah, you're right. I got excited. Atlas presses his palm to the symbol, and the door creaks and groans. It starts to open with a hiss of air. Ooh. Secret Blood Ant Society. You step tentatively into the chamber. Cobwebs hang thick from the ceilings, and the veins of red ore pulse along the pillars. Dean Waite was right. This really is the lost Blood Ant classroom. Look at the literature. There must be information about blood magic that hasn't been read for decades. Beckett rushes to the table in the middle of the room and reverently picks up a book. Master trails a finger over a diagram on the far wall. The magic details on this chart is all about healing. Some of it even is similar to wood nymph magic. Guys, are you sure you should just start touching things? More importantly, is nobody gonna mention Mr. Flesh over here? Or are we sure he's not gonna reanimate and choke us to death? Zeph peers at an anatomically model beside a pillar, while Griffin and Shrio start rummaging through the shelves beside him. What are all these pots for? I expected a blood ad classroom to be filled with, well, silly as it sounds, more blood, or... there are mummified body parts in this thing. Griffin flings a pot he's peering into. A shriveled set of lungs flies out. Sick. I love this place. Atlas levitates the pot back onto the shelf, summons the lung over to himself to examine. Beckett glances up from his book. Those must be conifer jars used during Egyptian mummification. They contain a body's preserved organs to be buried alongside the mummy. Bloodhat studied mummification? I need to ask Dean Swan about... You're cut off by a faint rustle coming from deep within a shelf. A couple jars rattle as an object squeezes past and something red flies straight at you. The book flies straight into your outstretched hands. The cover opens to reveal the name written on the first page. This journal is the property of Thea Solaris. Alice, this is Mom's. Looks like a personal journal. She wrote a lot. You open the journal to the last page and start reading aloud. May 1st, 1997. Evelyn has just left. I told her I wanted to study her findings on shades a while longer, but the truth is I don't want her to see my sadness. My pre-science has shown me that this will be my final time in this room. Soon, no one but Evelyn will step foot in here. She's so distraught with all the talk of banning blood magic, but with Dean Wraith's help, she's determined to prove blood magic's worth during her graduate studies. Todd and I are planning to get married as soon as we graduate, and to go see the world, but Evelyn wants to stay here. She's so dedicated to her research. I hope the future is bright for her. I'll miss this room, but maybe I'll leave my journal here so that Evelyn doesn't feel quite so alone during her graduate years. She wrote that entry 2 years before the ban on blood magic was enacted. She and Dean Swan were really close, and it sounds like Dean Swan was taking the stigma against blood magic really hard. How could people have looked at someone like Dean Swan and thought her magic should be banned? That just sucks. It seems that her graduate research into blood magic did little in her favor. I wonder if everything here now was part of her experiments. Ezekiel, once we deal with Cain, we have to get Swan to teach us what she knows. She probably discovered all sorts of cool stuff. And now what else? Double trouble. You actually have something of your mom's now. Oh, Atlas, I know this sounds way too good to be true, but what if we could use the locator spell? We might be able to find her. I have to try. Tune yourself to the Earth's magnetic pull, then transfer it into your mother's journal, when suddenly it feels heavier in your hands. You turn your thoughts to your mother, picturing the slight smile she wore as she held baby Atlas in the picture you keep on your desk. Please work. The magnetic pull in the journal fades, but you're suddenly overcome by a powerful presence, and your sun magic surges up to meet it. I think I can feel her. You squint your eyes shut as light shines out of you, chasing away every single shadow in the room. We'll see each other soon, my precious sons. Your mother's voice fades away, along with the light. You felt your mother's presence with the locator spell. Ezekiel, I heard that. Mom spoke to us. We didn't find her, but Mom spoke to us. Might be an echo. That's all thanks to Cain's riddle. It didn't just lead us to a dead end. Obviously, he could still be up to something. Just because we have our mom's journal doesn't mean we have any leads about where she is now. You're right. This is probably just another piece of Cain's manipulation. Guys, you're going to want to take a look at this. Tria holds up a book with gold and red cover. She skims her finger over the page, reading the text. A spell for summoning of shades. Using blood magic to immortalize the life-giving particles of the universe. Griffin reads the subscript, his voice rising in amazement. Developed by Evelyn Swan. Graduate thesis in blood magic, 1999. Holy crap! Dean Swan could summon shadow monsters. Okay. Take the book from Sharia, glancing at the drawing of the shadow creature on the page before you start reading aloud. Well, we've seen that one. Recent rumored attempts to create a shade use the corrupted essence of 2 dead creatures. An uncorrupted essence can only be harvested using blood magic, which kills the creature it belongs to. Neither option is ethical. But I developed a method that uses the matter of life in the world all around us, rather than essences. Atlas slams his fist into a pillar, his teeth gritted. I can't believe she still had to hide all this, just because people were jealous of her attunement. It's not fair. I agree. Think of all the magical advancements she could have pioneered by now. The magical world has missed out on her so much. You guys, there are instructions on how to do the summoning. You look at Atlas, find his eyes as wide as yours. Previous choices caused you to strive for reason. I know we aren't supposed to do blood magic yet, but a imagine already knowing how to do the spell once we get our blood magic in check. We can at least read the directions. And then we'll be one step ahead. Sounds smart to me. Plus, we'd use them much more responsibly than Rafe ever did. Add the summoning spell to your spellbook to be able to summon shadow creatures. Well, why not? We didn't have we only had a tier this week in Nightbound and nothing in Bloodbound, so yeah. What are the procedures to Dean Swan's summoning? I've never heard of anything like this before. For now, let's scour the paper, your heads pressed together. It talks about connecting with life-sustaining particles all around. Warmth from the sun, water in the air, life in the soil. Those are all things I draw on when I do nymph magic. Well, here we go. Find the life pulse in all of those particles. Feel how life flows through them and call them forth into a new being. Is it just me, or is this getting really metaphysical? Hold on, I think I feel something. Your blood magic builds within you, reaching out towards your surroundings as though searching for something to latch onto. I feel it too, but I'm not trying to do anything, it's just happening. Maybe you two can actually summon one of these creatures. We're gonna summon Golem! But aren't you supposed to use your blood magic? Aren't you supposed to not use your blood magic yet? What if these summonings go wrong? Blood magic continues to build, fighting to let out. I mean, I don't think I could do the wrong choice because this is a diamond choice, so I'm going to hold it back a little. I'm going to taper it. Start to suppress your blood magic, but... what? Why is mine getting stronger? Ezekiel, help! You sense the blood magic bursting out of Atlas and hurriedly reach out to contain it. As soon as you do, it begins to stabilize. I felt everything Evelyn wrote about. Even in the crypt, there's life everywhere. You tentatively reach out again and your magic bursts free. Okay, so you release blood magic, okay. Something's forming. Look! Shadows coalesce around you and then start to gather in the corner of the room. Oh, hello, little ball. It's kind of cute. Not evil yet. Not nearly as scary as the last time I saw one of those. A little shadow thing. It's not a dog. I'm gonna name it, 'cause screw you. It's a little baby shadow, and we summoned it together. Alice turns to you, a grin breaking out across his face. We actually made a shade. We're legitimate blood ads. I don't sense any malice from it. This creature is completely different from those Rafe created. It's a creature of pure life, not death. The shade fades away, but your heart still races with excitement. You can now use summoning. Yay. I'm gonna summon me up a girlfriend. Okay. Seth, this is hands down the best bucket list find you've ever made. Aw, shucks. The Zephyr does his best. I must take some of this literature back to my dorm room. The amount of knowledge that this layer has dormant. I want to take a shriveled heart. I want at least 12 hours of beauty sleep after this. So does this mean we should finally call it a night? Definitely. We found our mom's journal, we learned a blood magic spell. I'd call it tonight a success. You and your friends close the blood at room behind you as you leave. You then head to your dorms for some much-needed rest. The morning of the semi-final Thief game, you and your friends head to the stadium across the foggy grounds. I know the weather sucks and all, but I don't like to be superstitious. I have a good feeling about today. Griffin feels confident about his scholarship standing. Don't worry, the fog will burn off, and this will be a great game. The scholarship committee is even coming to watch today. That's the spirit. They'll be so impressed with your leadership, and they'll hand you the scholarship right then and there. You're playing Gildegrave again, aren't you? They won't stand a chance now that you've faced them so many times. The Frost King is so snotty, though. wish I could take him on with a little firepower. Tree summons a fireball in each palm and then catches your eyes and smiles. Letting the fire dissipate, she kisses your cheek. But I know Ezekiel will do fine out there. It's him this Frost King should be afraid of. A team that relies on one player is hardly a team at all. Not to show excess of school pride, but I think today's game belongs to the Drexmars. Come on, Locums Locos, let's pick up the pace. I want front row seats for today's SmackDown. The first time you use Locums Locos. Welcome to the team, buddy! Did you subscribe? Atlas hurries her friends across the lawn. They wave as they leave you, Griffin, and Zeph behind. When you enter the arena, Griffin stands for the scholarship committee. Hey Griffin, over here. Good luck in the game. I know you'll do great. Amy waves from the front row besides Dorothy and Teddy. You, Griffin, and Zeph go over to say hi. Good morning, Mr. Langley, Mr. Hernandez, and Mr. Winchester. Miss Stevenson here was kind enough to procure us prime seats for today's match. Oh, so did you just come to watch the game? Not quite. We like to get the sense of the scholarship hopefuls outside of the application process. Get more context on them, if you will. We believe your performance on the field will better help us measure your leadership and teamwork abilities, Mr. Langley. I don't care for a thief. When I hear Gildegrave is quite the team, I hope you handle the pressure with a level head. We'll be watching your performance closely. I definitely intend to keep my head level. Dorothy, Teddy, Griffin is the team's rock. Whenever we've got a tough match, Griffin keeps us all grounded and playing smart. He shines in high-stress situations. That's why Cap trusts him to take over next year. If there's anyone who can keep cool and focused, it's Griffin. Well, happy to hear that, at least. Hey Griffin, Ezekiel, team huddle's starting. The three of you hurry over to the rest of your team, and the huddle looks around at each of you. Alright, Drixmars, we've come this far together because we're a unit. Each and every one of you belongs to this team, and Gildegrave better be scared. What's that I hear? A group of baby Drexmars whimpering in fear? Bruh! Didn't I already kick your ass last time? The Frost King sneers at your team from across the field, but Griffin ignores him. That's right. Let's get our heads in the game, have each other's backs, and let's let our teamwork speak for itself. We got this. Couldn't have said it better myself. Go Drixmars! Dome closes, and you get into position with your team. The referee blows his whistle, and the arena begins to shift. Ah, this is quaint. You find yourself in a peaceful apple orchard. The rest of your team scatters while Ward and Griffin team up with you to start searching the grove. I'm the secret MVP on this team, just saying. I feel like this place is a place for a panic, not a picnic. Wow, panic. Not a thief game, but where is everybody? Picnic! Am I invited? No. Gildegrave player jumps out of a nearby tree and whips up a ring of flames. The fire spreads, and in moments, the grove is ablaze. And you ruined it. This is why we can't have nice things. The fire flares, burning the trees to a crisp and filling the air with smoke. A fireball flies at you. Duck! Chariot fire allows you to control flames. Haha! Ezekiel, you and I can handle this no problem. We sure can. Chariot of fire, let's do this. The flame leaps to your binding. The embers cooling into a pleasant warmth around you. How did you do that? Magic. A little something called teamwork. I know you Gildegrave players have no idea what that means. I'll calm the fire. I'll calm the rest of the fire, Ezekiel. You take this guy down. You glare at the Gildegrave player through the flames. Like a flaming dragon. Think you're so good with fire? Well, watch this. A flaming dragon soars through the grove, absorbing the fire from nearby trees and growing larger and larger. Grab his flag, dragon. Dragon sails up high, performing an elegant figure eight, and then plummets back towards your opponent. Ah! He dives to the ground, and while he's down, you run forward and snatch his flag. And that's what you call too hot to handle. The arena shifts, and you and Griffin are suddenly in a silent forest. You jump as footsteps crack over the underbrush behind you. Hey guys, it's just me. Look over that way. I'm kind of not buying the whole look over that way. He doesn't speak like that. There's a nod between a pair of trees, and you follow his gaze to a nearby road, where two Gilded Grave players are in the midst of an argument. Look, Marty, I get the Frost King sounds cool to you and all, but we know your name, and we're tired of calling you by the stupid title. Chill out, Cassandra. If you want to be called the Dirt Queen, all you gotta do is ask. Eternal Strife. This is our chance to steal the flag without them even noticing. We've got this game in the bag. I'll just scare them with trees, charge, shine light into their eyes. Is it sunny in here, or is it just me? You make a flourishing motion with your hands, and the light, slanting through the trees, suddenly reroutes straight into your opponent's eyes. Solar Flare! Ouch, what the hell? I have sensitive pupils! Where'd you go? Ah! They stumble into each other and fall to the ground. Laughing, you walk over and steal the flags, and they disappear back to the sidelines. That was way too easy. That was the funniest thing I've seen all week. I needed that Ezekiel, look out! Griffin pushes you aside as your surroundings start to ripple. You hit the ground hard. Oof, what was that for? I thought I saw something behind you, Ezekiel. Where's everyone else? You realize you and Griffin are the only ones around. You stumble to your feet, a force takes hold of you, pulling you up into the air. Ah! Hang on, I've got you. No! Griffin's magic dissipates. He jumps for you, arm extended. You reach for his hand, your fingers just barely brushing against his. You're suddenly on a moonlit path in the countryside. The rest of your teammates are nowhere in sight. Of course it's you, Cain. Of course. Hello, Ezekiel. Cain stands at the fork in the road, a shadow in the moonlight. Cain, what are you doing here? Where is here? I've simply borrowed you from that rather fascinating game you called Thief. I must study it more one day, but for now, we're far from Penderghast. You should have been able to get through. You shouldn't have been able to get through the school wards. I'm a source, Ezekiel. I have my ways, but also my limitations. Time is running short. I need you to obtain the sun crystal for me. Hi, Tim. Tim appears in front of you, snarling at Cain. You're a fucking fraud. Oh, yeah? What do you need it for? To protect myself from Alma's unpleasant persecution. It's the only way I can defend myself from her superior power. Really? I know you're lying. You're just a thief who can't do the job alone and needs to manipulate someone else into doing the dirty work for them. You want the power the crystal will give you, and you think I'm dumb enough to hand it over. How could you think so lowly of me after all this time? I'll be frank, only your mother's magical signature can unlock the sun crystal, and you, Ezekiel, share the same signature as her. I've told you so much about her, given you her pendant and other gifts. Were those not enough to sway you to my side? I know what'll be enough. Find my mom. Your side? You were just trying to win me over so I'd grab the crystal for you. You've been manipulating me this whole time. I don't like being messed with, Cain. Refractionary energy sparks around you. Tim glows with magic as well. Cain lifts his hand in supplication, but his tone grows clipped. You are a gem among humans, Ezekiel. I gave you those gifts because we're friends. I've come to you now because we're friends. I've helped you, and now I require your help immediately. Please, my friend. I'm not your friend. Friends, are we? I'm pretty sure you're the only one who's ever used that word to describe us. You're so obsessed with me, it's disgusting. Cain's expression twitches, and his magic suddenly flares, the force of his rage washing over you. I've wasted enough of my precious time to sway you. You are as intolerable as your human-loving mother. You have no choice. You will obtain the crystal for me. Tim leaps in front of you, taking the blast Cain's inch away. He skids through the dirt, hits a tree trunk, and then fades back into the ether. Tim, no. I will end you, Cain. You're going to regret ever trying to take advantage of me. The only thing I regret is your insolence. It will be my pleasure to bring an end to it. Cain's magic cuts right through you. A sudden shockwave tears through your eardrums. You fall to the ground, clutching your head. Cain pulses through you. Ezekiel, hang on. I'm nearly through. Back in. Your surroundings warp, a rift forms in the swirling energy, and Beckett tumbles through. I did it. I can't believe I actually did it. People humans, stop interfering with everything I do! Cain's energy slices through the air. Beckett, who barely has time to throw up a shield. Ugh! A wall of metal materializes in front of him. He staggers. Cover beside him is Cain's magic hammers against the shield. Beckett, what's going on? Where are we? Cain manipulated the walls to change the thief arena and threw you outside of Penderghast's protection. Luckily, all my studies in the ward and portal magic allowed me to do the same. We're within the ward themselves. The shield dents and groans from the force of Cain's attacks. If we don't fight back, we're toast. I'll use weapon forging spell, slicing spell. Try slicing spell. It's against my better judgment, but I don't think a weapon being forged, especially when we have to get close to Cain, is gonna work. This should cut Cain down to size. You focus the air around you into a disc of swirling wind between your palms, but Cain lets out a laugh. See you, fool. You really think you can do it between the air like the air is better than you? The air source. The wind in your hand spirals out of control, growing into a raging storm that tosses you around. Yeah. No match for me, pathetic mortals. You sure about that? Give me a second chance. Grasp for rays of sunlight and pull them taut around you. Still have a trick up my sleeve. You thread your air magic with your sun magic, calling being the creature you created at Cain's tea party. Use Cain's illusionary spell against him. Hey, it's my moose! Your illusion monster gallops at Cain and sinks his jaws into his thigh as vipers from the rotting corpse strike all over his body. And take this. You batter him with refractionary energy. He crumples into a heap, lying motionless for a moment. But seconds later, the pressure in the air intensifies, crushing your lungs. The winds whip around and lifting him into the air. How dare you use what I taught you, Getsy! The force of Cain's power bleeds into the air and presses in on you. Pain is nearly unbearable. This pressure will kill us. He's too powerful. Now get us out of here. Beckett drags his hand through the air and another rape appears, sucking you through. You land in a heap in the thief arena, coughing as air flows into your lungs. Beckett staggers to his feet and waves a hand to close up the rift. When it's gone, he drops to his knees beside you, clutching at your shoulders. Ezekiel, are you alright? You can only nod your head, guiltily shaken by what you experienced. Find your voice, Beckett nods resolutely back. Good. I'm glad you're unscathed, at least externally, but Cain's power. He fails to suppress a shudder. Rafe's fury felt like a tempered breeze compared to what Cain just unleashed. Shudders and suddenly goes limp. Slumps to the ground where he lies completely still. Beckett! Beckett! Somebody! Help! Beckett's hurt! You look around desperately, unable to process anything in the rush of people running around the field and the roar from the stands. Nobody seems to notice you. Dean Swan drops down beside you. She gingerly turns Beckett over, revealing deep gashes in his skin through the bloody tears of his blazer. You feel a subtle hint of blood magic. There's shrapnel embedded in his back. He'll need to be transported to the medical wing, but I shouldn't have a problem handling this. Sentry! Take him to the medical wing now. Yes, Dean Swan. The sentry scoops Beckett up and starts sprinting towards the exit. He tries to follow, but Dean Swan grabs your shoulders, forcing you to look her in the eyes. I promise you he will be absolutely fine, but you need to let me handle this right now. I'll send the sentry as soon as you can come see him. But... Dean Swan turns on her heel and strides after the sentry. The bustle of the stadium is overwhelming, and you duck outside, needing to find someplace quiet. The morning sun has burned off the fog outside the stadium. You're halfway to the lake when Alice calls out to you. Ezekiel, hold on! Alice sprints over, Shri and Aster in tow, and pulls you into a crushing hug. Holy crap, you're okay. Don't scare me like that ever again, you stupid idiot. Sorry I scared you. Before Alice can reply, Shri and Aster join the hug, and you let out an oomph as they squeeze you tight. You just vanished into thin air. I saw it on the big screen. Nobody could explain it. I extended my branches as far as I possibly could, but I couldn't find you anywhere. I was so afraid. I thought I'd start losing leaves. As they step back, Atlas frowns at you, worry clouding his expression. Hey, what happened to Harrington? I saw Swan and the sentry taking him away. He rescued me from Cain. I thought he was fine, but as soon as we got back, he collapsed. He got hurt trying to help me. And it's all Cain's fault. All he does is hurt people and manipulate, and I'm done letting him near the people I care about. He'll pay for this. And I'll be there with you when we give him hell. He's got both trouble to look out for. There he is. He's all right. At Zeph's shout, you spin back towards the arena. He and Griffin sprint across the lawn towards you. Ezekiel, the wards malfunctioned mid-game and you got sucked through. Are you okay? Feel everyone in on your face-off against Cain. Griffin's expression falls when you describe Beckett's injuries. I should have been there. I should have figured out a way to help. I'm sorry. I failed you and now Beckett's hurt. You didn't fail anyone, man. That isn't fair, Griffin. It's not like you could have predicted that Cain was going to try and kidnap Ezekiel. Not even Ezekiel's pre-science warned him about this. You can't hold yourself accountable. Cain's a source, and we barely escaped with our lives. If you were there, you might have gotten hurt too. And I never want that. But I was right there in the arena. If I could have done anything, something, neither you nor Beckett would have... Metallic clunking sound interrupts you. You turn to find the sentry approaching. Message is for Ezekiel Winchester. Beckett Harrington is now stable condition and would like to see you. Is he really okay? Are you sure? Affirmative. He is in stable condition and must rest, but he is allowing visitors as at the moment. He has requested your attendance. Sentry clunks away across the lawn. Griffin lets out a relieved laugh. You're both fine. I can hardly believe it. I can. Don't let the blazer fool you. Beckett's tougher than he looks. Oh, it's such a relief that locos are all safe. The world feels so much brighter. I feel like all my flowers could bloom at once. You have to go see him yourself, Ezekiel, and then bring us back the good news so we can celebrate. King thought he'd come out on this round on top, but nothing can keep us down. That definitely deserves some sort of celebration. Why do I feel like Beckett's not alright? I'm with you. I just need to go check in on Beckett before we break into party mode. I'm so relieved. Visit Beckett in the medical ward for a heartfelt moment. Celebrate with your friends by surfing across the lake and strengthening your friendship before the trials ahead. Oh. Of course you'd do that, Choices. Of course you would. Stay focused. Now that everyone's okay, we need to start worrying about Cain. It's only a matter of time before he returns, and we can't waste... Aster suddenly staggers with a shudder. Her eyes turn black. No. No! Aster, what's happening? She grabs you, showing everything through her eyes. The wood nymph forest is in ruin. The moans of fallen trees chilling your blood. Cain rises from the wreckage, his wind slicing bark from trees. Now that damned brat will understand what it means to cross a source. All that he holds dear we suffer. Oh, damn you! Yarrow sags, sap dripping from his wounds. Aster's tortured voice filters through your consciousness. Papa, please, no! Cain, stop hurting my family! But Cain doesn't hear her. He releases one more gust, ripping several more trees out of the ground before surveying the damage. I think this will relay my message just fine. Cain, when I'm done with you, you're gonna wish you'd never been freed. Really, though? You barely have enough power to survive without Beckett, dude. I don't think you're gonna do anything unless you plan on, you know, training every day and becoming a super magic user. Unlike a Super Saiyan. Teehee! So speaking of which, I hope y'all did enjoy the video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down in the description below, links to social media, Discord, and if you'd like to support me and my content. And without further ado, I will be working on Platinum very shortly. Right now I'm waiting on keys to regenerate, but also I'm gonna go grab some coffee because I haven't had coffee all day, and I'm a bit pecked, or tired, or peakish, or whatever words you would like to include in there. So without further ado, thank you all for joining. Speaking of which, I'd like to just point something out. There's a Steam sale going on. If you folks want to head over there and see if there's any games you might enjoy on the Steam store. And, you know, you might want to be like, hey, you know what? Locum just had his birthday. There's some Steam sales. Maybe I want to hook him up with a game that I might like on a really discounted price. You could do that. You could do that. Yeah. But without further ado, thanks for watching. And I'll catch you all later. Peace.